A girl called Sarah was studying psychology in college. She stayed in an old building next to the campus. She liked the peace and quiet of the building because she knew there weren't no students that could wake her up. She often wondered why students didn't move into the building, because they would be able to throw parties much easier than in the campus. She had a few people living near her room on the 13th floor, but they never bothered her. One night Sarah had to go out to go for a weekend job interview, and she felt it went very well. She walked into her building and saw a woman and a girl walk up towards the elevator. Sarah smiled at the woman as she pressed the elevator button and asked the woman which floor she was going to. The woman said 12, please. Sarah and the woman and the girl stepped into the elevator. Sarah pressed 12, then 13. The elevator went up to 12 and stopped. Then the doors opened and the woman and girl left. Sarah said bye, but found it strange when the woman didn't answer. When the doors shut, there was a bang, and suddenly the lights went out. Sarah got a start and jumped. The elevator seemed to be stuck. She panicked and pressed the emergency button, but nothing happened. Something on the ground caught her eye. It was a newspaper. The headline read, "Girl found in river after being stabbed multiple times." The girl looked to be about 17. Sarah felt relief when suddenly the elevator started moving again. It reached the 13th floor and the door opened. She walked out of the elevator and felt her foot sink into a wet carpet. She looked down and realized it was like the floor was flooded. She felt panicked and walked quickly to her door and took her keys out of her bag when suddenly she heard a voice. It was the girl from the lift. She could only tell it was a girl in the lift because she was wearing a dress. She had her head down the whole time in the elevator so she couldn't see her face. Sarah guessed it was a daughter sulking with her mother. Suddenly Sarah realized the girl was soaking wet. Sarah said, "Oh my God, you're drenched. Are you okay?" The girl looked up and Sarah jumped back in horror as she recognized the face from the newspaper photo of a girl that drowned. The girl spoke. "I'm cold, help me. I'm cold, help me. I'm cold, help me."
Tony was looking forward to his job interview as an interior designer for a new design firm that was advertised as a futuristic, ambitious company with a vision that is to provide stunning interior design in housing and public buildings. The interview was held in the city in a block of apartments. He knocked on the door and was greeted by a man with a grey beard, and the man welcomed him in. When they were both sitting down, the man said, "Welcome to my company. I am delighted to let you know my company is like no other company in the world of interior design." The interview went on for about 10 minutes when I was given a task. It was very strange. The man said to me, "Here is your task. You are going to enter a room next door and you have to design it all to look beautiful, and when it's fully restored and designed, then you can exit the room." Tony found it very strange but agreed. When he entered the room, he realized the window was broke and all the walls were all dirty, and the strangest thing was there was no paint, no brushes, nothing to do it up. So he wondered, how could he restore and design the interior? Before he could ask the man, the door was locked. Tony was in the room for about an hour and he was panicking when something very strange happened. He noticed there was paint appearing on the walls, as if an invisible person was painting it. When the wall was painted, he felt like he was going to faint. Then suddenly the windows that were broke fixed by themselves. He felt like he was going to curl over in pain. Then suddenly a light appeared on the ceiling, and a table and flowers appeared. The room looked beautiful, he thought. Then suddenly he fell. The door opened and the man checked his pulse, confirming he was dead. Tony did exit the room, just like the man said, but he didn't exit alive. The more the room was being decorated by an evil force, the more life was being sucked out of Tony until he died. The man looked at his book to see who next was for the job interview. Susan loved riding her horse around the countryside and also took part in equestrian events. She loved the feeling of the air run through her hair as she felt free as a bird. There was a silly story going around her town about a phantom horse. It's been around for years. The story is there was meant to be this horse that has bright red eyes and was roaming through the fields, stuck between this world and the next. The horse was meant to have been killed during a race and was looking for a girl to take its owner's place. Needless to say, no one she knew has ever came across this so-called phantom horse. But as sinister as that sounds, that wasn't what bothered her. It started just last week. Susan received a nasty phone call. She didn't speak, she just listened because it was so weird. There was a weird voice spoke that said, "Hello, Susan. I would like to become friends with you." She didn't even ask who it was and just hung up. Then the next day, another call came. "Hello, Susan. Why are you playing hard to get? I just want to be friends with you." She didn't bother tell her friends yet, and she suspected maybe it was them who was just playing a trick on her. But it was on a Friday night Susan really got frightened about what was happening. The phone rang, and the weird voice on the other end said, "Susan, you are really annoying me. I told you I just wanted to be friends. I am losing my patience." Susan felt a shiver run up her and turned the phone off. She told her friends the next day in school. They told her to go to the police. That night, when Susan finally had the courage to turn her phone back on, there were loads of messages. 1. "Susan, I told you I just wanted to be friends. Now you have really annoyed me by your rejection." 2. "Susan, why is it you won't answer my phone?" 3. "Susan, I am very angry." 4. "Susan, meet me in the horse riding club by the stables at 3 tomorrow." This was it. Susan finally had a plan. She rang her best friend Lucy to tell the others to hide back in the trees while she met her stalker, and they would pounce out and keep him safe until the police arrived. Or better yet, she thought, have the police there wait with her friends. When the time came, Susan walked to the stables, knowing her friends and the police were watching from the trees. She saw some movement over by a horse box. Then she panicked when she saw a black figure come from around it and push her in. Her friends heard her scream and ran up to the horse box. But the worst was to come when they opened it. There was no sign of Susan, and she was never ever to be seen again. People have put it down to the phantom horse, because there was no way out that they would not have seen her, so she must have disappeared. Some nights people have said they had heard a girl crying in the woods, and they had put it down to Susan, caught between this world and the next, with the phantom horse that finally found the girl to replace his owner. Gypsy Susie Black was a clairvoyant after realising it years ago from when she was a little girl. She used to know if she got an A in school before she even did the exam. She knew if it was going to rain, or if it was going to be sunny, or if it was going to snow. She had crowds and crowds flock to her to get their future told. All Susie had to do was hold their hand and she would see their future. She was the real deal. One client was delighted with Susie. She had great news to tell her. She said, "Madame, I have looked into my crystal ball and I've great news to tell you. You have great things to look forward to in your future. You were working hard for years to get your business off the ground. Well, I can confirm to you now, your business will be off the ground in only a matter of weeks. And not only that, but it will be very, very successful and bring you in lots and lots of money. And you will be very, very happy doing what you're doing. I am telling you this now in confidence that this is true, and I would like you to come back to me in a few weeks' time or a few months and let me know how your business is doing." The woman smiled, and she was so happy with her reading. But then there was another woman, and Susie would tell her the truth, even though it would tear her apart. She said, "I am very sorry, but your boyfriend is going to lose his life in a month's time. He is working in a very dangerous job. I will not say what job it is, and I will not tell you how he's going to die, but you should know yourself. You are getting danger money from your husband from the job he's doing. I am getting a reading, and I am getting an image of him being a special agent or a detective working a very dangerous case. There is no way you will be able to stop your husband from doing what he's going to do to be killed. I hate bringing you this news, but I'm afraid it is the truth." The woman went home and told her husband, and her husband was working on a very, very dangerous case. One day she found it very strange. She held a client's hand, but didn't feel anything. She just saw fire. She couldn't tell what it meant. The next client was the same. She held her hand, and there was nothing she could feel. Just see fire. The client got angry, not being told anything, but Susie wasn't going to lie. She wasn't going to make up stuff, because she never lied. She knew that there was fire, there was heat, but what did it mean? Susie was worried. She lost her psychic powers, but then she realised she hadn't lost any of her powers. She was seeing the future. She heard people scream and went outside and could see fire in the sky. The reason she couldn't read anyone's future was because there was no future, and seconds later, Earth exploded into flames, bringing the end of the world.